Good afternoon and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. We are going to do an embellishment today that I think just turned out so stinking cute. This is for the weekly swap and the theme was crafty concepts. So I looked up something on my silhouette to give me an idea, and I found this. Let me see if I can give you a close-up of it. I found this, and I thought, well, that's really cute. Has the little glue gun and the paintbrushes, the scissors, the little flowers, and then, of course, the writing. A crafter's work is never done, which we know is so true. And so I thought, oh, that's got 1,000 pieces, but there's bound to be a way that I can do it that's not quite as, because like every little line in there is a piece. The paintbrushes were 3 pieces each. I don't even know how many pieces the glue gun was, but it was a ton. I didn't do the glue gun. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use that as my basic idea, but I'm going to do it a little differently. And so this is what I came up with. I used the banner, I used the scissors, and I used the paintbrushes, but I did not use all of their little tiny pieces. This is another cut that I did separately that wasn't in with this. And then these are little flowers that I made from punches. And I think it's just as cute, if not cuter, than what their design was. And it's way easier. I did my paintbrushes all in one piece, and then I colored them instead of putting together all those little tiny pieces. So let's just get started on this. So let me get back where we can see the whole thing here. All right, so I love to play in pinks because I don't get to play in pink very often because I have all grandsons, and that's what I usually scrapbook. So let me show you, I cut this out, put that aside for just a minute. And I've done a little bit in advance, or this video would be way too long. So I cut this out in the 2 shades of pink. And let me see here. How does this go? Like this, I think. Okay, so I cut this all out, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to get, how I was going to keep it all straight. And at first I thought, well, I cut these out with the words in it, just kind of as a template, and then thinking maybe that I could put my letters through that, glue them on through that, and get them nice and evenly spaced. That didn't work. It's just too small, and they kept gluing to this. But this did come in handy just to get me, okay, this one is the one that needs work is never, and this one is the one that says done, and these two were the ones that were easy to get mixed up, a crafter's and then a work. So I did use those just to help me kind of keep myself straight. So the first thing that I need to do is, I've already done some inking, but I'm going to finish inking this up. I actually thought I had inked more than I have. So I'm going to do that really quickly while we're doing this. Have y'all set any goals? I mean, I'm taping this in January, and I know that it doesn't premiere until sometime in February, but I was just thinking the other day about, what kind of goals do I need to have for this year, personally and for my scrapbooking. And so I actually wrote down some goals for, and I don't think I've ever done that before, to actually write down goals, but I decided I would this year. And I wrote down that I was going to do at least 50 videos. I like to do more, but that's basically 1 a week. And hopefully I will be able to do more. I'm on track to do more because I've already done a bunch of the scraps to embellishments, which is what this is. So I'm on track to do hopefully a lot more videos than that, but that was my goal. And then I wanted to do what did I say? I have to look at my goals. I did write them down. 100 layouts. And I'm way behind already on that because I've been trying to do ahead on my embellishments so that when I get really busy with the semester and everything, I can miss a week or two and still be okay. So 100 layouts, which I'm already behind on, and 100 embellishments. So that's just 2 a month. And I've already done all of January's, and I think this is finishing up February's. So I'm doing well on that. And I think that was pretty much all. Oh, and organizing, which I've already been doing that. I've reorganized my my die cuts. They're in 3 kind of tubs, and I made the files, the file sheets, the dividers for them, and labeled those so I could find things, and got everything in those except for just a few of mostly Christmas ones that I don't have enough to do that with. And I need more more of the sheets to put them in. Well, I need more of the sheets for all of them, but I either have them in plastic bags or in the sheets I want them in. And I need more of the magnetic pages that I use. I'll show you those on a different video because I'm afraid this video is going to be a little long just because of it's kind of complicated. Okay, so that is everything I think that has to be inked. So we're good there. All right, I'm going to start gluing the banner together. Now, I'm just going to kind of tack it. I tell you, I'm having trouble with my daubers lately. Some of them are getting kind of old. I need to replace them. That's what I love about those, is you just throw them away and get a new one. But this is a little bit complicated, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to just glue it together, just kind of tack it together so that I can get the little embellishments that are on it in the places that they go, and then I will glue it better and reinforce it. So the first one is like this. Okay, glue. The first one is like this. So let's just tack that on there. And you'll notice I've already put the lettering on there. That was kind of brutal, and I didn't want you to have to sit through all of that. So I did the lettering on there with all those little letters. That took a little bit of time. Okay, so that's about, oops, I need that to come down a little. I think that's good for that one. Like I said, we're just tacking these down. And then this one goes next, like this. And this one I actually had to trim on them. It was kind of, let's see, where can I glue that? Needs to go like that. My flower needs to go in there. This one's a hard one to glue because of where the little flower needs to tuck. So I may just barely touch this one right there on this edge. Just like that. Oops. And then, like I said, I had to trim that one just a little. It didn't want to fit just exactly. And then this one is like this. And I need to save that in for my paintbrushes. So we'll slide that under just like that. And then this one, I need a lot of room. So I think we'll just barely tack this little end again, like I said, when I get it all together, then I will definitely reinforce all of these different places, but that just kind of gets us our banner in shape. And this just goes right under there, and I can go ahead and put it on. Okay. Now we can start working on our little embellishments. As I glue them on, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have all of them made. And then as I glue them on and everything, I'll do the twist. So let's get these off just a little bit. Put that right there. Here is, I've already done the other two. Oh, you can't see on that, can you? Let's, let me get something that's a color that you can see on. There's this little paintbrush. And I have the other two already colored. So there they are. There's one, and there is the other one. So to color this one, I am going to use my light brown. These are my tri-blend, my Spectrum Noir tri-blends. And I'm just going to paint the brush with the light brown. That'll probably fade right into this yellow. And then I'm going to take the dark brown and do right across the bottom, and then just pull a little up, and then the edges and right across the top. So we want it not to just look solid. Okay, and while I'm at it, this is going to be one of my little flowers. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I need the dark, not the light, and color in the little middle of my flower. Okay, that's got that done. Then I want the, I think we'll use the medium green on this. My little paintbrush, the handle of it, just in the medium green. And like I said, I'm just using these blends because I was not going to fight 3 of those tiny little pieces of paper. So what did I do with my, oh, there it is. So that, and then I just took a plain old Sharpie and did the band across there. So that got our paintbrush. And that was much easier, believe me, than doing 3 separate pieces of paper to glue together that they wanted me to. And then I'll show you the punches I used. This is just a little punch from, it's Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby. I use this all the time on different things. And this is, I think, maybe the smallest one. And then I used this punch, which I love, and it is a, what is, oh, it's EK Success, but it has these 3 flowers on it, and this one is the one I used, and I punched it, and it looks like this. Well, I missed a piece of it, but it looks like that, and then I just cut 2 of the little petals off to use as my leaves. So we're going, and I used a little off-white. I tried to keep it as neutral as I could. That pink was the dominant color, but I had to use some colors, like in these paint brushes and my flowers. I had to use a little bit of color. You know, I couldn't make everything pink. So let's just, and then I punched this one out of a little sheet that just had some kind of variegated colors on it to make my flower, and then I just offset them so that it makes that little flower look fuller. Okay, and I already made one. I just need to put the leaves on them. So there's one of our flowers, and I need leaf for the other one. There it is. Get a little bit of glue back here. Doesn't take much. And put our leaf on there. Then we can just scoot it around where we need it. All right. Now, while I'm putting these embellishments, actually, oh, I have one other thing I've got to color. I wanted to show you. I went ahead and made this so it would be made because it took a minute, but I want to just show you how I colored it. I took my green, I did the light. This is a little spool, and I did the light and just colored the whole thing. The top of the spool is going to be brown, so I did not color the top of it. Let's see, am I doing this the right direction? No, I think that's the back. It's this way. All right, so just colored it in with the light. Just this had a needle and then the rest of the spool, and I didn't need that, so I didn't even bother with it. And then I went in with my dark and just followed these cut lines and did a little down the edge just to kind of outline it, and then went back with my light and started blending it. And I am absolutely not a good colorer, but these tri-blends make it look pretty good even though you don't know how. So that's how I did that. The top, I used the light brown, I believe it was, and just did the top of it. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Did the top, and then I switched over to the dark, and I outlined it. I got a little green up in there, but it won't hurt anything. I just outlined it with the dark. Like that. And then I actually took just a brown Sharpie that I had to do the little hole in the top, like that. Then I took my string, and like I said, I've already done the one that I'm gonna use up here because I don't wanna have to wait for that string to dry. But I took my string and I glued it on the back. I glued it to the back. I can get one separated. I glued it to the back like that, and then looped it around and glued it to the front, and then I'm going to loop it around on there. But like I said, I didn't want to have to wait for that to dry. So now we have our two flowers, our paintbrushes, and our spool of thread. And you can see I'm using a spool of thread instead of this little glue gun that they used. And I have my scissors. I did cut their scissors. And I just cut that out of some silver. It's actually kind of textured silver. So while we're doing that, I'm going to try to do the twist for today. The twist for today is something that really, really, really hit close to home with me. I have had breast cancer. My sister got breast cancer a few years ago at almost the exact same age that I was when I had breast cancer. And she confided in me, and she said, I'm just so disappointed in myself. She said, because I'm so scared. I'm so afraid. And I just think I should be stronger than that. And she had adult kids that weren't, that had been raised in church and everything, but weren't really, going to church, weren't living the way, you would want them to exactly. That not that they were bad, but they just weren't, exercising their faith the way she wanted them to. They were great kids. But anyway, she said, I'm just so disappointed in myself. I'm so weak, and I want my kids to see me strong. And so the only thing I could think to tell her to anywhere near comfort her was, I'll just tell you, I was afraid too. I was scared too. And then I thought of the verse, the scripture, where Paul was talking to the Corinthians. And, we're told that Paul had a thorn in his side. We don't know what it was, but we're told that Paul had a thorn in his side. And this is what he told them. And I want to read this so that I don't mess it up. And he said, this is what the Lord said to me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. And then Paul's reply was, therefore, I will boast, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so Christ's power may rest on me. We should not be ashamed when we are afraid. How many times in Scripture does the angel or Jesus say, fear not, don't be afraid? He knows that we have fears. He knows that we have weaknesses. He made us. He knows that. And so we should not be ashamed that we're afraid, because it's when our weakness shows up is when God's strength can really show up. So I love that verse, and I love that thought that in our weakness, he is strong, but his grace is sufficient. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is facing our fear. Even though we're afraid, we face our fear. And so courage is what God gives us in these times, to face our fears, not to be unafraid, but to face our fears. Okay, I just about have the flowers on there. Get in under here. Now it's time to put these itsy bitsy teeny tiny little paintbrushes on there. So let's see what we can do. I just thought this turned out cute. I didn't really know I didn't have any die cuts that went with crafting, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna look in the silhouette and see what I can find. And I liked this, but I actually like mine better than theirs, I think. And I don't mean that ugly. I just mean I like the way it turned out. And I think I like the spool even better than the little glue gun. So there we have those. And I am just going to try to not mess them up. Oops, I did a little bit. And stick some glue under here. And glue them in place. All right. There we go. We have our scissors, our spool, a couple of flowers, and our paintbrushes. And believe you me, this one was fast in comparison to those first ones I did, and building all of these and coloring the paintbrushes and all that kind of stuff. But I just think it turned out pretty cute. I will try to give you another close-up. I hope you have set some goals for this year. I hope you set personal goals. I did set personal goals too. I'll talk about those maybe in another video, but I hope you set some goals. Goals are not to trap us into anything, they are to guide us and to give us something to shoot for. So I hope you set some goals in your scrapbooking or in anything in your life, and pursue those goals this year. And so I hope you have a blessed day, and above all, be a blessing to somebody else. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you did. If you have subscribed, I thank you so much, and I would appreciate a thumbs up if you like this little embellishment. Just to help my channel grow. And in the description below will be the links to all the other people that are playing along in this hop, and it is so much fun to watch. So have a blessed day and be a blessing to somebody else.